Hi, this is Barbara. I'm calling from New Jersey. I'm calling about Syria and Yemen. I'll pick either one. Do you care which one we talk
Go
about?
for it. Whichever one you want to hit on.
All right, here's the thing, and I guess my answer to both of them is the same. Stop selling arms across the world, okay? Stop selling arms across the world because we have problems here in this country, and I'd like to fix those first, and we're not going to be able to make peace at home when we're busy selling arms abroad, okay? Now, why do you want a really big, neat solution when it's a messy, messy problem?
Well, I mean, what you're offering is, in my opinion, is the neat solution that doesn't really address the messy problem. I mean, stopping, again, like I said previously, stopping American arms from going there, which we should do. Like, I don't think we should argue that as a solution to the war. I think we need to argue that because it's simply the right thing to do, because it won't fix the war, but we should do it anyway.
We should do it anyway. Remember the Supreme Court decision just a few weeks ago when they said domestic abusers are not allowed to buy guns legally. Domestic abusers can still buy guns through loopholes or inherit them or whatever, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But, so I'm not saying the Syrians, the Yemenis, the Iraqis, the Libyans, and there are many, many groups are not going to be able to buy arms from other people, but we've got to sit back and have some sort of moral standing. And right now, we're just a slimy ball.
To me, you know what? That is the only rational argument for the reason we should stop selling arms. It's because we shouldn't be selling arms. It is not what America should be involved in. It is repugnant. It is disgusting that we have ISIS fighters right now who have their hands on a litany of American weapons, right? It is a scourge on America. Missiles, right? Not just, I mean, missiles, weapons, Humvees, everything. Right? They have everything that, and it's all with America's, blessing. Well, not blessing, but it's there. Right. It's there because of our businesses, our defense contractors. It's there. So we should stop doing it because it's the right thing to do. We should not be involved in arms trade dealing. However, I still stand by this till the end of the Syrian war. If those arms are not provided by the United States, which it should not be, there is going to be a huge wealth opportunity for some other actor to go in. And unless we, by force, keep arms out, I mean, a real embargo uses.
Excuse me, I really want to interrupt here because I've heard you say that before. Is that somehow it follows automatically? We stop selling arms in my fantasy world, okay? In Barbara's fantasy world, we stop selling arms. But in your fantasy world, we not only stop selling arms, but then we attempt to go in there, Iraq, Syria,
No,
Libya,
I think you heard me wrong.
Somalia, and police it, enforce this embargo. There's no way we can do that.
Exactly. No, Barbara,
I'm not sure
actually
why you think that.
No, because you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me clearly.
Okay,
let me say it again so that you can hear me perfectly clear. I'm saying without that level of embargo on arms, without a blockade on arms, there will be another actor, state actor, or just another defense contractor from another part of the world that will supply the demand for arms in that region. That's why it's not a fix. It's not a fix because we, one, can't do it. Two, we shouldn't go in there and enforce an embargo. Like real, if we're going to stop interventionism, that means just walk away and let it, however it falls. But by us walking away, we're not selling guns, which we shouldn't do. Somebody else is going to. So this is why I disagree with the argument that the solution is to simply stop selling guns, for America to stop selling guns. That's not even a fraction of the solution, because the guns will be replaced by another actor.
Okay, but in that case, if you step back and say, what do I want out of the U.S. arms sales to, let's say, Syria, okay, what do you want? What do you think a coherent foreign policy would look like that included intervention or arms sale or humanitarian aid to Aleppo.
Jesus, I mean, number one, it's like it's the moral case against selling arms, right? I am on board with I'm on board with every one of you who say that we should not be selling arms. 100% on board with that. But my reason for being on board is more sober, in my opinion. We just should not be doing it because it is the wrong thing to do, and because it always has blowback. It always has blowback. It's a way of coming back and biting us in the ass. So without, in terms of intervention, I'm not interested in American intervention. Pretty much, I'm trying to think if there any cases where I'm like actually pro-intervention. The only time I personally, Benjamin Dixon, am in favor of intervention is when there is a genuine humanitarian crisis. Because just like I feel like not selling arms is the moral thing to do, I also feel like standing by while a humanitarian crisis is happening is immoral. And I think we have a responsibility to intervene when we can, not because we want to expand, not because I want to expand America's empire or neocolonialism or any of those things. It's because if I see someone hurting and I have the capacity to alleviate their pain, I have a moral duty. Me personally, Benjamin Dixon has a moral duty to do so. So that's why I advocate for intervention for humanitarian reasons, but fully aware and cognizant of that's been the excuse we've used historically. So it presents a problem that I don't quite have a resolution to. I just know where I stand personally.
But you're also prioritizing the needs of another country over the needs of your fellow citizens.
Well, I honestly think if
you're okay with sending tax dollars over to another country.
I'm totally okay with sending. I am absolutely okay with. Hang on, let me finish my thought, and I'll answer your question. I'm totally okay with tax dollars going there because how poorly we spend tax dollars here. If we don't spend that money on defense contractors here and on weapons that we don't even need, on planes that don't even function properly, and on tax breaks on
littoral combat ships that don't function properly.
Right. If we're wasting trillions of dollars, we can simultaneously take care of America. And I'm not saying that we should go around and be the Santa Claus of the global community, but we can genuinely intervene for real humanitarian crisis, even if it doesn't involve military. Sometimes it just involves food, right? So I am okay with that usage of our tax dollars. I would much rather see that than to see it being spent on useless defense contractors.
So you would say that a humanitarian intervention, for example, now in Aleppo, would be a good idea? I
don't know. I honestly don't know, because the way to intervene, hang on, let me, you asked me a question. Let me finish my answer.
Go ahead.
The way to intervene to actually stop the humanitarian crisis actually does involve a no-fly zone. And that's really a non-starter. So I think President Obama actually, I don't know what they are not stating off the books, but what they're stating on the books in terms of what we're actually doing, I think it's a no-win situation, and that there's nothing that we can actually do to fix the problem over there. So stay out of it, right? But you can't say stay out of it without accepting reality that we're going to continue to, and this is all I want progressives to really do. Just accept the reality that by saying we're going to stay out of it, because I don't think that there's anything else that we can do at this point or should do. We are accepting the reality that probably another 250,000 people are going to die before this is over. Just accept that, and at least
nobody
admit
in the
that.
United States has turned a hair about all the people who've died so far. So what makes you think anybody's going to care about another 250,000 dead people every damn day?
But the question is, do you care?
I'm nobody.
And I'm not asking that to be mean. I'm just sincerely asking, do you care?
Who listens? I care.
That's care.
That's why I'm in here. Yelling. Okay.
You care. I care. I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is really simple for me. I might undermine all of my other arguments. The only reason I care is because of the humanitarian crisis that does exist. I don't really care about the revolution per se, because I don't have any personal connection to the revolution. All I have personal connection to is human suffering. And if I see human suffering, I have a desire to want to do something about it. But when we analyze this situation, it is a cluster F, and there's really nothing we can do about it. But I grow really weary with oversimplified solutions and reductionism, saying that all we have to do is stop the arms flow. That's not true. And then all we have to, if we do, all these other things. So I just want people to be really sober about what we're saying, what we're asking, and what we're advocating for. And I'm sober in the sense that I know, after thinking this thing through, there's really nothing that is the right step for America to do. But by admitting that, we're also admitting that this war is going to just continue brutally killing another 250,000 people over the next 200,000 people over the next presidential term. So that's all.
Why won't you take that next step then? What's holding you back from taking that next step and saying, okay, it's part of a messy solution, it's part of a messy problem, but just let's put pressure on Congress to stop selling arms.
I mean, sure,
Syria,
no.
the Saudis,
just
whoever.
Stop. I've already said that.
Why are you not?
But I've said that.
Well, because you want a neat solution.
No, I think you're still hearing it. Listen, I appreciate the call, and I'm not cutting you off. I'll finish answering your question, but the show time is over. There is no neat solution. I'm actually more okay with a murky solution than a promise of a neat solution. A neat solution is Jill Stein saying, we just need to stop selling arms. That's cute. In terms of solution, that's a nice, neat talking point for a solution that doesn't actually solve the problem. And there's nobody can rationally, if you can rationally argue that simply having America stop selling arms would stop the Syrian civil war, please come and make the argument. But nobody can make that argument. I've not seen one person. You can make the moral argument that America should not be selling arms in the first place. That's the argument that should be made. That's what we should fight for. But we shouldn't fight for that and sell that as a solution for Syria. That's so disingenuous and short-sighted that it's unbecoming of people who are supposed to be the logical thinkers of this political discourse. All right. Boom, boom. Yes. And I'm voting for Jill Stein, right? I expect more of people. I expect more of people that I support. Like when you got my vote, I expect you to be 100. I expect for you not to do the exact thing you accuse your opponent of doing. I expect for you to not reduce things to being talking points. I expect you to engage your people, help the electorate become smarter. Don't reduce it to talking points and sound bites that oversimplifies a problem and now has a lot of people thinking that all we have to do in Syria is to stop selling guns. No, all we need to do is stop selling guns because that's just the right thing to do. But that is not a solution for Syria. And I don't know how many ways I could say it.